1 minus I equals... Oh, hey DMD family, welcome back to another Discs MD video. Bunky here, and yeah, you may wonder what I'm doing here. Yeah, I'm trying to solve the backhand equation, so I'll be with you in 1 minute. MP times 1 equals NP. Wait a minute, I think I got it. Oh man, back to the drawing board. I'll be right with you. Roll the intro. All right, before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button below, hit the notification bell next to it, hit the like, and tell your friends. We're gaining a lot of momentum here, and it's really exciting for me, so let's keep it going. All right, now let's get outside and get to work. Well, let's do it. Let's talk about the backhand. I've contested for a while now that the baseball softball swing is probably the most complex movement in sports. And that's my opinion, and you can agree or disagree with me as you want. For me, and I've played pretty much every major sport at a competitive level. I've played baseball and softball and lacrosse and football and basketball. I haven't played soccer. But to me, the baseball softball swing is the most complex until I got to disc golf. And now the disc golf backhand has surpassed my baseball swing as the most complex movement in sports. And there's two reasons that I believe this. One is the intricacy of all the moving pieces, right? The complexity comes from so many aspects of the swing that you have to take into account to get it right, right? What is my head doing? What is my shoulders doing? What are my arms doing, which move independently, which is what I think makes it more complex than a baseball or softball swing. A baseball, softball swing, my hands are together. And a disc golf backhand, my hands are independent and usually doing something different, right? Opposite directions. So what are my arms doing? What is my core doing? What is my hips doing? What are my legs doing? What are my feet doing, right? The backhand in disc golf is a concert of motion, right? That needs to be choreographed perfectly for you to get it right. That's the first reason. The second reason is the fact that it takes power and dexterity. The problem with that is, and I've said this many times in the past, a backhand in disc golf is a baseball swing on the opposite side of the plate. So I'm a left-handed person and I swing left-handed, right, in baseball. A backhand disc golf throw is a baseball swing, but from the right side of the plate. So I am expecting my body to work with dexterity and power hitting opposite-handed, which I can't do. So that makes it very difficult to do. You'll find switch hitters in baseball or softball are much better backhanders because they have power and dexterity from the opposite side of the plate because they switch hit. So they have a leg up. You switch hitters out there have a leg up on us. I'm not a switch hitter, never have been. I've always been a lefty hitter, so training my body to swing right-handed, it's difficult. So that's what led me as a coach. When I coach my athletes, as I said in my last video, I like to break movements down into its smallest pieces and then focus on piece at a time to get it right, and then build on the movement. And that's exactly what I was doing in my last video, right? It was all about my arm movement, and that's all I was focused on was my arm movement in my backswing, right? Getting from my full backswing to the power pocket to release. But there is a danger in that. And the danger was pointed out by two commenters that I had on my last video. One specifically, Sam. Thank you, Sam, for your comment. I didn't appreciate it at the first, but I learned to appreciate it. And in the end, it turned out that I was in full agreement with what he was saying, and which prompted this video. So whereas I think it was important for me to get the feel of what my arm was supposed to be doing, I've always said practice doesn't make perfect, practice makes permanent. So we need to practice the way we play. And with that last video, I wasn't practicing the way I played because I was just focusing on my arm. And my full backswing was fine, my power pocket was fine, but then when I got to the third point, I was telling you it was just extending my arm, right? And I was like this. And this is what prompted his comment. Whereas my release is correct, it's at about 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock. I keep saying 11 o'clock because I'm listening to right-handed guys. It's at least it's at 1 o'clock. But where's my body? It's faced this way. So going from here to here, I'm separating my arm from my body far too quickly for any power to be generated from this movement. What I would caveat my last video with is to move your upper body along with your arm as you're training your arm. So that last video should have looked something like this. When I get to my full backswing, my shoulders are cocked back, my head is in a neutral position, right? I'm not looking forward, I'm not looking all the way back. It's in a neutral position to my shoulders. If you're a sport person at all, an athlete at all, you know what that means. Neutral position is looking straight forward, right? So my shoulders are slightly turned back, my head's in a neutral position, my arm's slightly away from my body at about 5 o'clock, right? And my right arm, my off arm is getting ready to help me with my rotation, right? So my full backswing should look something like this. My power pocket should have then looked something like this. In the power pocket, disc to the chest, my right arm is coming through to help me with my rotation, right? Shoulders are now in alignment, facing toward my target, right? And then my third step is release. And release is, I want my body, my torso, pointing toward my release point at release, which means I have to glue my arm to my torso as I rotate, as long as humanly possible. And this was Sam's point, to get any power. So it's not just extending my arm from here to here, it is rotating through the shot while extending, and my release is here, right? Where my chest, my head, my hips, my arm are all pointed at my disc. And it makes perfect sense because when I train my softball players in their softball swing, and I learned this from Dot Richardson, who played for UCLA and now coaches at University of Liberty University down in Lynchburg. When you get to contact with your baseball swing, everything's in alignment. She said you point your belly button, your arms, your hands, your head, is everything goes to the point of contact. You don't have any power unless everything is aligned at that point, at that moment in time, right? Which is where your timing comes in, right? Timing equals power. That's just the way it is. So when I'm coming through my swing, everything has to be aligned up. Everything has to be lined up at point of contact. And that's exactly what I talked to Sam about during our conversation on Instagram. When I get here, my point of contact, everything on my body's got to be aligned to that disc in order for me to have maximum power. So that's how I would incorporate what he was commenting about into my practice routine for my arm path, making sure that my shoulders and my torso are following along with my arm as they would when I'm throwing my disc. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to throw a couple into the net and show you in full motion what I just explained looks like, right? Going from my backswing to my power pocket and then to my release. And he sent me a couple pictures. I would challenge you to go look at Paul, go look at Paige, go look at any of the pros. When they release the disc, everything, and he sent me a couple of pictures that I looked at. Everything, the disc is out here, right? They're here. The disc is out, and yet their head and their chest, everything's aligned right here, right? So they kept their arm as long as they could, and then they extended, and bam, right there. They let go, everything's lined up, and then it's just following through. So in order for us to get maximum power, that coordination of timing is essential. So I'm going to throw a couple into the net to show you what that looks like in full speed, and then I'll go back to my editing software and I'll slow it down a little bit, just so you can see exactly the 3 points that we're talking about. So I'll throw 2 or 3 here, and then we'll go back and we'll look at what they look like in video. So I have my net in front of me. I think you can see that on video. I'm going to line my feet up. My left foot is going to be a little in front of my right foot at release. So here's where I start. So I'm going to come through to the power pocket and then make sure I'm pinning my arm to my chest until release right here, okay? And everything should be lined up. So let's give it a shot. And I hope that didn't come across too bad in my mic. So let's try it again. And I let go of that one early because I'm not gripping it. So I'll grip this one and we'll do it again. And that one felt a lot better. So let's look at those right now and then we'll wrap it up. All right, y'all. I didn't realize until after the fact that my iPad could not screen capture, so I needed to use my daughter's iPad. So I went back out and threw a couple more and recorded them. So we'll take a look at this shot here, and I'll let it play through full slow motion first, just so we get a look at the full motion of my backhand here, and then we'll back it up and hit the 3 different points, my full backswing, my power pocket, and then my release to see what my body positioning is like. So first, full slow-mo. All right, so that's the full slow-mo. Now we'll pause it and we'll back it up and try to hit the 3. So full backswing, right side preparing to come through to help me with my rotation. Disc away from me, head kind of neutral, probably pulling a little forward, more forward than I want, but that's not too bad. So let's get to the power pocket. Back it up a little bit here. So there's my power pocket. My right side coming through to help my shoulder rotation. Disc into my chest. My wrist is broken pretty good there. My head's down on the shot. And then release. So where is my release here, and what does my body look like? Let's get back. Whoa. There it is. Oop. Had it. Sorry. So there's my release. So you see my right side stopped. It didn't keep coming through, which means my power pocket, my arm was probably not pinned to my chest as much as I needed it to be, or as long as I needed it to be. So let's watch coming through the power pocket. Yeah, I probably could have rotated my shoulders a little more there to keep my arm pinned to my chest a little longer. But my head's down on the disc. My chest is pretty good. Probably a little more rotation there, and my shoulders would be better for power. My biggest question is my shoulder angle. Does that steep shoulder angle matter? Does that decrease my power? So let's wrap this whole thing up. All right, there you have it, everybody. That's what I have for this video. I hope you find this useful. Look, let me just end with this. I'm not an authority on disc golf. I'm not an expert in disc golf. I'm not a pro at disc golf. I'm not a coach of disc golf. So most of you are probably asking yourself right now, then why in the world am I watching you? And the simple answer is because I am you. Just an average, everyday guy that loves disc golf, that wants to get better at it. But I have a family of 4 children. I have a daytime job. I do not have countless hours or money or resources to be able to practice and get coaching and do all the things that's necessary to become elite at this sport. I can't do it. So I have to find a way to become the best that I can at this sport without all of that. I have to believe that the majority of people watching me right now are probably in the same boat. So my intention for my channel was really twofold, was to give some entertaining stuff, and that's why I do my full rounds, but also to document how I'm getting better at this game, because I have to believe that someone out there is going to benefit from what I'm going through as an individual trying to get better at this sport. And that's all that I want to do. I want to be able to be confident in my game at a tournament or in a round with my friends, right? And just get better and better because I love the sport. I love the sport. It's such a fun game. It's a fun game to watch. It's a fun game to talk about. It's a fun game to play. So I have to believe, again, that what I'm going through will resonate with someone out there. And that's why I'm here. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you that if you do what I do, it's going to magically change your game. I'm not telling you that you have to do what I do or you're going to be a failure. I'm showing you what I'm doing to try to make myself better. And I'm listening to other people and I'm learning from other people. And I know that I'm not right all the time and I make mistakes. And you're going to see things on my channel that I do that I think work for me. And then once I get into it and start talking to people, realize it's probably not the best and there's a better way to do it. And I'll come back on and I'll say that, right? I'm going to keep it real with you guys. I'm human. I'm fallible. I make mistakes. So we learn from our mistakes and we move on. I coach this with my athletes all the time. An elite player isn't elite because he knows his strengths. An elite player is elite because he understands his weaknesses and knows he needs to work on them. That's what I try to pattern my sports playing after, is knowing that I have weaknesses and I need to know them and I need to know how to work on them. And that's what I'm going to do. So I hope you can keep chugging along with me here on this journey that I'm taking to improve my game, and keep tuning in. I'm probably going to limit these to every other week now. Every week I think is just too much. I want to do every other week so I have, you know, some more experience to draw upon to do this video, so they're worth it to you. I don't want to waste my time or your time with worthless videos. So these are probably going to be every other week now, and then do my rounds every other week. So one video a week instead of 2 a week moving forward. My subscriber base is increasing, so thanks so much for the support. It's really is humbling that people would actually want to watch what I do. But keep telling your friends, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't, hit the notification bell, and let's keep going. Let's get better at this game, and let's build it. Let's make it grow. I want to see disc golf on network TV within 5 years, watching disc golf tournaments. That's